foodie friends, welcome back. For the first time ever, I'm going to share with you guys my grocery haul, my meal plan, and the dinners that I make from this all in this. I'm calling it a week of eats, and you're going to see the grocery haul, the meal plan, and what I make with the grocery haul, and I'm going to have timestamps listed below. So if you're not into grocery hauls and you're only into the what's for dinner portion, you can check out all of it listed below. I have timestamped it, I have recipes, it's all inclusive. But if you like everything, I thought it might be nice to have a one-stop weekly shop. So let me know in the comments what you think of this style of video. We're gonna get into the ALDI haul, then the Walmart haul, then the meal plan, then the meals. Okay, so this week I went to ALDI for literally two things. My waters, I need more of those, and I wanted to find a decent price fruit. I got 4.5 pounds of grapes, and then I got 2 avocados. They were 35 cents a piece only at ALDI, and I couldn't pass that up. We are having a taco dinner that was bumped from last week to this week, so avocado for the win. And then since I had 2 of my 3 kids with me, I did buy 3 of these. And then we picked one up for my daughter who was about to join us, and that was a last minute addition. But if my kids go to ALDI with me, that's kind of their bribed treat. And it's funny, I like doing that because I remember when I was a kid, we would drive about 45 minutes to get to our nearest ALDI, and we shopped there out of necessity. They had really decent prices, but as a reward, my parents would buy a pack of donuts that we ate in the car on the way home, and it was always a treat and made going to ALDI worth it. So when I buy these for my kids, it makes me feel like buying the donuts my parents used to do for us. So this is my $11.06 ALDI haul, and now we're gonna get into the Walmart grocery haul, which has the substance of my meals. On to Walmart. Here's my Walmart haul this week. I got chicken. I'm making a thin chicken breast in the air fryer. I'm going to coat it, and it's going to be hopefully crispy. And then also buttered chicken in the Instant Pot, so I needed lots of chicken for that. Apples. My kids are home all week, and apples are an easy, healthy snack. This is their last week of Christmas break. Rosemary I'm using in the pork tenderloin, and I'm going to try to keep that plant alive. Potatoes. I'm making scalloped potatoes, and I can't remember, maybe mashed potatoes? We'll see. Broccoli is a side for the buttered chicken with rice. Garlic and ginger, spices for dinners. Cucumbers and hummus are just a snack on. Our lunches are predominantly going to be snack type crackers, fruits, vegetables, leftovers, easy stuff. Orange juice just to have on hand for the week. We're going to have salads this week as one of our dinners, so I got more dressing, Italian, ranch, and then croutons. So a few weeks ago I made, you guys saw it, for a family Christmas we had, the chili cranberry sauerkraut meatballs. I'm making them once again for New Year's Eve, and me and 2 of my kids really love them, and so we're excited to make them and share them. I don't know if we're actually going to get to this dinner this week, but it is a nice, easy, quick dinner. The creamless Alfredo. So I just have this on hand for whenever we need a quick dinner, even if it's not this week. The cilantro is for the buttered chicken, I believe, and we're also having tacos this week. Evaporated milk is for the scalloped potatoes. Diced tomatoes are for the buttered chicken. Kosher salt, just to have on hand, especially for the Alfredo. Breadcrumbs for the chicken. There's my kids crawling in the background. Lettuce for the salad. When we have salads, we're gonna have bread, butter, and cheese with it, so bread and butter. Heavy cream, this is gonna go in the buttered chicken, also for the scalloped potatoes. White bread, just to have on hand for toast. Obviously the meatballs are for the meatballs I'm taking to the New Year's Eve get together. Sharp cheddar cheese is just to keep on hand. I like to buy these big 8-cup bags during the holiday season. I like to buy the 8 cups of cheddar cheese during the holidays when it's available. We'll go through this before it expires, but it's a better value when I get the larger bag. The meatballs for the meatballs. Peas, I like to have on salads. Pork tenderloin, I haven't made one of these in a long time, but I saw a recipe that looked good, so I'm going to make this with probably some mashed potatoes and stuffing. Index cards, I like to keep these on hand just for notes, to make little lists, to send test numbers with my kids. Lots of different uses, but we're running low, so I just bought colored version and white. And that is all that I got from Walmart this week. I will put my total up right here, and we will get into my meal plan for the week. And don't forget, after the meal plan, you'll get to see the foods that I actually make for this in my week of eats. Okay, so putting lotion on my hand is not something I'll do before I write this again. You can see the oil behind there, but I'm not redoing it. So we are having a salad bar with bread, butter, and cheese. I'm going to make some thin chicken breasts air fried. I'm going to bread it with some scalloped potatoes. I'm going to make butter chicken with rice and broccoli. I'm going to make a pork loin in the crock pot with some stuffing. Funny tacos got moved from last week's menu to this week. We're going to go out on New Year's Eve probably. I think we're going to my in-laws' house, and we're going to do lots of snacks over there, so I don't know if we're actually going to do a full-on dinner here. And then my backup dinner, I don't even know if we'll get to all of these, just if we have leftovers or something comes up. But I put the Alfredo. I made this a few weeks ago, a butter and cheese only Alfredo, and I want to give it another whirl because last time was a little saltier than I wanted, so that has sounded good to make again. So that's my backup dinner. But here we are for this week. Salad bar, chicken, butter chicken, pork loin, funny tacos, Alfredo, and New Year's Eve out. Even though that's like the middle of the week, I just put it last. And now you can see what we've actually made. Since I was taking the time to prepare the chicken breast for tonight's dinner, I went ahead and I also prepared 2 other nights, and that chicken was cubed and went right into the freezer, which makes for future meals to be much easier. I had remnants of an entire 5-pound bag left. I don't know how much was left, but I just went ahead and skinned all of my potatoes, and I was looking to get about 6 cups of peeled and trimmed potatoes, and I ended up with way more, so you'll see I had some leftover potatoes in the end. But after I peeled them, I rinsed them, and then I took my slicer and I went to town. I did end up having a blade issue and had to hand cut the last remaining potatoes, but for the most part I used my mandolin slicer. Okay, now that my potatoes are prepped, I'm going to make the cream and cheese sauce. I'm using a recipe that doesn't actually call for much cheese, but I want to add it in. I'm having heavy cream, evaporated milk, butter, flour, paprika, a little cayenne pepper, onion powder, Parmesan cheese, and cheddar cheese. So I'm going to get it all started. I always forget to tell you about garlic. Garlic's in there too. We're heading over to the pan to make the sauce. I'm melting the butter, and then I'm going to add in some flour to make a roux. I will also add in the garlic and all of my spices and the Parmesan cheese. Now the Parmesan is something that I added in that wasn't in the recipe, that is linked below, but it did make the sauce thicker, so at the end you'll see me adding in a little extra heavy cream just to thin it out. But everything else is as described in the recipe. You can see it's thickening up. So I'm going to remove it from heat and get my potatoes in the dish and ready to cover. Now that the cream mixture is made and my potatoes are ready, I have coated a pan and I am layering the potatoes and the cream mixture. This is called an old-fashioned scalloped potato recipe, and I don't know what old-fashioned tastes like, but I think that really describes this well. It was really yummy, but it wasn't, you know, super glamorous and filled with lots of flavors. It was just comforting and pretty simple, but it definitely was yummy. Once the potatoes and sauce were stacked and ready, I did go ahead and cover it with a little bit of cheddar cheese. Again, the cheese is not in the recipe. And then I sprinkled it with paprika and baked it according to directions. Okay, my chicken breast that I prepped earlier, a bag. I'm gonna pound it. I have a half cup of breadcrumbs, a teaspoon of salt, a half teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of paprika, a quarter teaspoon of garlic powder, and a dash of cayenne pepper in there. And then I just have olive oil. So I'm gonna pound the chicken, put olive oil on it, and then bread it and get it all ready for the air fryer. I highly recommend making this dinner when you're mad at someone. Great aggression getter outer. I did follow a Pinterest recipe for this. It is linked below, but I actually really liked putting olive oil directly onto the chicken to use as the coating for the breadcrumbs. It helped the breadcrumbs stick to the chicken really well, but it wasn't super soggy like an egg milk mixture. I did preheat the air fryer before I put the chicken in there, and I cooked it on each side for 4 minutes. You'll notice that it looks like I'm using the same tongs, but I have a multi-pack of this, and I have one set for my raw chicken, one set for the cooked chicken, so don't worry, no one is poisoned in my house, at least not on purpose. I ended up adding all the chicken into the basket for 2 minutes just to get it a final crisp after they were all done cooking. And now my scalloped potatoes are out of the oven. They were super creamy. I really enjoyed making this recipe, but we had so much left over. I ended up using it with our pork loin the next night instead of making stuffing as I planned. I didn't want to waste the food. It was yummy, and here is our complete dinner, served with a salad. Even though we liked the scalloped potatoes, no one was like in love with them, and we liked mashed potatoes more, but I'll definitely be making this chicken on the regular. So because I had so much chicken left over from the night that I made the air fryer breaded chicken, I ended up chopping it up to put on a salad. My son and I actually shared a really big salad I made. I made my husband and my middle daughter a salad, and then my older daughter wanted to make her own. I have one of them off camera here just because of space limitations, but there's really nothing groundbreaking or a recipe to share. But I'm using up like the ends of a cucumber, and I'm using some pepperoni and salami that we had from a meat and cheese board on Christmas. So just trying to use up ingredients and make a yummy, delicious meal at the same time. I frequently use leftover proteins and vegetables in salads, whether it is a salad that I have for lunch or if I can convince my husband to have salad for dinner. Making the beef broth for the gravy, I am saving half the pork for the freezer from a pork loin because we don't eat a ton of meat. And I'm starting to sear the pork that I'm making, and now I am making the gravy that's going to go on top. This is a recipe that's different than the one I originally was going to use when I grocery shopped. It has apple butter, Dijon mustard. I accidentally added too much by rinsing out the jar. Soy sauce and garlic. It was pretty simple, some spices, and you sear in the juices of the pork. on the stove top, put it in the crock pot, add the gravy on top, and the recipe actually called for potatoes and carrots. But since I was making us use our leftover scallop potatoes, I did not want to make more potatoes. I did add in the rest of the raw carrots that we had, and I wish I had more of those because my kids loved them. They gobbled them up and wanted more. They were actually fighting over the last carrot. But we love sweet cooked carrots. And I went shopping. I was gone all day, and this is what I came home to. It cooked on high for 4 hours, and then it just automatically turned to warm. But this pork was amazing. So the tenderloin lived up to its name. It was definitely tender, and when I went to cut it, it was very easy to shred, and everyone in my family enjoyed eating it. It makes me want to explore other ways that I could use this. So I was thinking of how I could maybe make some sort of a sugar glaze, because I did have leftover pork and it's actually still sitting in my fridge, and then maybe broil it and add it to tacos or something, but that'll be another day. We'll see how I end up using it someday. But I served it with our leftover Au Gratin scallop potato. Easy and delicious. I'm grinding about a tablespoon of ginger, fresh ginger. I have it in my garlic here. Okay, so I'm adding the tomatoes and all my spices, ginger and garlic, and all of the dry spices. Recipes linked below. My frozen chicken breast that I pulled out earlier today. And I'm going to put this in the Instant Pot for 10 minutes of high pressure. If your chicken is still frozen, you will need to cook it longer than 10 minutes, but if you thawed it like I did, 10 minutes is enough. Okay, so 3 cups of water to 3 cups of rice, and this is about the easiest Instant Pot recipe ever. And 4 ounces of butter, which is an entire stick cut up into cubes. Half cup of heavy cream, and then I'm gonna do of cilantro. I add all this stuff after the chicken is cooked. I'll add it to the sauce. Okay, so now that I have the chicken out, I'm gonna add my butter, my cilantro, some more garam masala, and the heavy cream. And we're gonna add that all after I do my immersion blender to get this all done. Sorry it's so dark. It is gloomy and dark and overcast and almost evening. Okay, so I have my Cuisinart Smart Stick, and I'm gonna make the sauce. I love having an immersion blender. If you don't have one, it's great for sauces, for soups, and shakes. I love it. So this recipe actually suggests that you freeze half of the sauce and then only use half of it, but guys, it is so delicious. I refuse to give any sauce up. I use it all, and I make tons of rice so that it has tons of leftovers. Okay, I have my frozen naan, melted butter, adding just a little shake of garlic salt. We'll spread it on the naan and add some Parmesan and add it to the air fryer to make some naan dippers. If you are interested in like a start to finish video on the naan dippers, I do have a video. I will link that below. But that is a pretty quick sneak peek. And here is the finished dinner, waiting on the naan dippers. You guys, I honestly make this look like a soup because I love the sauce. It is that delicious. I'm not going overkill. then I just use my pizza slicer to slice the dippers, but this is really good to have on the side and to scoop the chicken and sauce right onto. We actually have considered making this without the chicken, and then for my daughter that doesn't eat meat, she could have it and we could add chickpeas to it. Okay guys, so I'm excited to share with you, we are making funny tacos, and I'm trying to make crispy crowns that are like the potato olays from Taco John's. We don't have Taco John's in Michigan, but when I was a kid, and even now if I see one, I'm excited to try. And if it's close, I will love it. I won't even know if it tastes exactly the same because I don't eat them that frequently, but I have the crispy crowns. I did end up going to Walmart to get these since Aldi didn't have the crowns. And then some spray and celery salt. We're gonna give it a whirl in the air fryer. And then funny tacos, really simple. I have my taco meat already made. I keep these in the freezer. I make them in batches. And then I have all my different toppings. We are gonna have cilantro, black olives, spicy ranch. We mix sriracha and ranch together. Just jarred salsa, lettuce, sour cream, shredded cheese, and an avocado. But the thing that makes it funny is you take a flour tortilla. I have these left over, and then these if we need them. I just try to use obviously open packs first. You take a flour tortilla, you warm it, you add cheese sauce onto it, and then you put a crunchy shell in the middle. And so that's like a double decker, but instead of refried beans, you use the salsa con queso. I'm using just, this is from Aldi, the Casa Mamita, and we're gonna give it a whirl. We haven't done these in a long time. We have a restaurant that's local that makes them this way. And then I'm also just gonna season some beans for my daughter that doesn't eat meat. So I'm gonna get going, and it's a really simple dinner, but I'll show you how we construct them once I have all of our ingredients prepped and ready. Okay, so I've put the crispy crowns in my air fryer basket. I'm gonna spritz them with oil, shake it, do it again, and then I'll add the celery salt seasoning. This is where the magic of funny tacos happens. You take the flour tortilla, you warm it up, and then you add the warmed up queso. It doesn't have to be super warm because it's gonna warm during this process, but you're basically using this as a glue to hold the two shells together. Ta-da! Okay, so once you have your funny tacos set up, my air fryer is still going, so sorry you're gonna hear that. It's easier to do this if you have two hands, but I'm taking my camera around with me. So you add your toppings. I'm adding beef and beans, of course, because that's the way I like it. No one's gonna applaud your health for making these, I'm gonna tell you that. So I have meat, beans, spicy ranch, cheese, sour cream, salsa, lettuce, cilantro, black olives, and we're not gonna eat the avocado, it was rotten. I didn't realize that until I was cutting it, but. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and build my taco. Okay, so here's my funny taco. I have beef, beans, lettuce, cheese, spicy ranch, and the queso in between the shells. This was definitely a family favorite dinner, and I think that the celery salt on the crispy crowns was really yummy. I don't know if it tastes exactly like a potato olay because it's been so long since I've had one, but I definitely find it a suitable substitute, and I'm grateful for whoever on Facebook on the Aldi Nerds group suggested that. I loved it. So if you guys like these week of eats, let me know. I am trying to decide if I'll do more of these or if I'll go back to the what's for dinner and the grocery haul separately, but I am open to suggestions. Thank you so much for watching. Chow down and ciao.